is Not Sam Wrestling.
Introducing your host from New York, here is Sam Roberts.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen,
We're here.
with Baron Corbin. What's the haps,
That's
man?
me, future King Corbin.
Future King Corbin. I've been advocating for this.
You
I feel like the King of the Ring tournament was literally created as a vehicle to get Baron Corbin to the place where he's going next.
Yes, I think so. And King Corbin just rolls off the tongue.
You were Baron.
Have you been attacked for advocating for me to win?
Oh, very, very, very much. Here's the thing. Like, I was attacked because I said from the beginning, this is where it's going.
Yeah.
And so far, I've been right about every single match.
Every single
all
one.
of them.
Oh, that's
All of them.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah, so you must be the worst person alive aside from me now.
Yeah. Well,
He likes Corbin. Boycott his show.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
Hey,
bad.
now I'm on the show.
And that's what they say, too. They say, that's the most WWE thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, that doesn't... WWE kind of knows what... I mean, they've got a pretty successful track record.
I would say
generally.
so. I would say so. They've been number one for a long time.
Yeah.
They're doing something right.
Right. So, I mean, you're a guy who doesn't have... who came in here with experience being a public figure. You'd done professional athletics where
Yes.
people had opinions about you, but you hadn't done wrestling before this. Were you able to pretty quickly realize that even though you might have your own insecurities because you're learning, that the people who are on the internet telling you suck are not the ones to listen to?
Well, they also aren't the ones paying my bills. So from day one, I go, I'm not really going to listen to that guy because if he knew what he was talking about, he might be here. Or,
Right.
It's funny, too. A lot of people have these opinions, these elaborate thoughts and why things work and don't work. But if your opinion was so good, you'd probably get paid for it. You'd be a famous writer. You would be some sort of influential voice. But they're not. They're on Twitter. They're tweeting, and they have 71 followers, and they get one like, and the other things that happen on their page are all robots or whatever it is. So their opinions never really mattered to me. And I've been used to critics. When I played football, I was an offensive lineman, so you'd get a lot of people if the game wasn't what they wanted, if it wasn't a high-scoring game or whatever it was always the offensive line's fault. It was never anybody else but the offensive line. And most of the times they have no clue what they're talking about. It's so funny because they're like, well, the O-line played bad. They gave up 4 sacks in this game, so it's their fault that they didn't score 21 points, when in reality it would be like a coverage sack, or they brought 8 when we had 7 protecting, and then the running back would miss one. So the O-line really only gave up 1, but you don't actually know what you're talking about. So,
Right.
I mean, that's no different than what we do now.
That's what I was going to ask you. People talk about, like, wrestling fans, like it's this own crazy, like, oh, they're so critical of everything, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like,
It's not wrestling fans, but it's not wrestling fans. It's internet fans.
Of
For
things in general,
especially
right?
here.
Right,
But
okay.
yes, and the internet, because for anything, because they can't be held accountable for what they say. It's very easy to hide behind the keyboard and comment how you hate everything. But you know what? They're still at the shows. They're still coming out. But a majority of the wrestling fans, the WWE fans that are in the building, are women, kids, families, and people who just want to have fun. Like, they are having a great time when they come to these shows. They're not reading Twitter. They're not worried about what Twitter has said about somebody. It's usually 5 or 6 guys over in a corner, and that's it. That's the percentage. The percentage is these internet fans is very small. They're just very loud.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in. But the WWE fans, the WWE universe that come and they love what we do, they're totally different. They are just in the shows. They are not concerned with what somebody's doing outside of the building, or how someone dressed that day, what color their shoelaces were, or what kind of car they drove, like things that don't actually matter to what they're doing in the ring. They're there to just have fun and experience the WWE event as a whole. It's a very small number of very critical critics.
Yeah. Well, do you find yourself, like, wanting to show less of what you're doing in your normal life, or more of that? You know what I mean? Like, does it kind of influence you to go, like, you know what, it's not worth it? Because, I mean, I follow you on Instagram. You're a cigar enthusiast. You're a watch collector. But it's almost like, do I want to show people my watch collection because they're going to be like, there's the bad guy wrestler. I hate that guy.
I think you're going to get it no matter what you do. And for me, I'm going to put it out there because I want to attract these other worlds into what I do as a WWE superstar. Because now you're right. I like cigars. I like wine. I love cooking. I have an elaborate horror collection, and I love going to horror movies and my watches. So now, there might be somebody who comes across my Instagram and sees, oh man, he's really got these really unique Omegas, or he's got this Rolex, or he's got this super unique piece. Now I'm going to watch wrestling because I like what this guy's in. So for me, if I can broaden my audience outside of the WWE universe and
Don't knock the Fern.
Watch out, Mr. Fern. I'll hit him at the end of days. But it might bring more people into what we do. I think that's the cool thing, is if they can find a way to connect to us in some way outside of WWE,
totally,
that might bring them in the building. I think that's the coolest thing. Like Roman Reigns right now being in this movie. People are going to go see this movie and go, wait, WWE's coming to town. I get a chance to see the movie star Roman Reigns, where they may not have been a wrestling fan, and they come to a live event and they're like, wait, this was freaking awesome. Like, then next time they bring their three friends. Like, so those things that I put on my social media, yes, I'm going to have the idiots that come say something every single time. It's so crazy. I put up a picture of my little girl the other day, and you still get people, and you're going, what? Like, why do you come to the page just to say something that has nothing to do with my picture?
Like, it's like, well, you cheated to win that match. Clearly, you're a bad father.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's what you get. That's the connection they draw. It's insane to me. Or like, the other funny thing is, like, I put up a picture. It's my wife's dad's Ferrari. He lets me take it out all the time. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm taking the Ferrari out. And they're like, you rented it. You can't afford it. You're going to be broke. They just assume all of these things. They think because I'm driving a Ferrari, now I'm not going to have any money when I'm older. I'm going to be a broke ex-WWE superstar.
You were like, here's this cool car I want to take a picture of and show you.
Like, that's what it is. They draw these 8 million conclusions to this.
But I also love the idea, because I would love to meet the people that, like, they're like, well, I'm into horror stuff. I'm into metal. I like this Baron Corbin guy. I'm going to go see this show. Why are y'all booing Baron Corbin? Because they didn't realize.
They're not prepared for that. It's so funny. And I tell a lot of my friends that I'm friends with in bands, when they come to a show, like, they'll be good friends. I go, hey, man, the crowd is going to be crazy. They're going to boo me. And they're like, really? Why? And I'm going, that's what I do, man. Like, just join in. Then I leave after the show. They're going, dude, I was booing you. I gave you the finger. Like, I don't know what happened. It's so funny. So
yeah, I mean, is there any part of you that goes like, because social media, it's just made it such an interesting time, right? That now fans do relate to you on a real life level, where when guys like me were growing up, I wasn't relating to the people I was watching on TV on a real life level because I didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know what Bam Bigelow was doing
exactly
on his off time.
Does any part of you go like, well, I want to protect the fact that I've managed in 2019 to be a true villain? The last thing I want to do is come across as relatable.
Well, I think you can still be relatable and still be an a-hole. Like, that's just, it's funny because people have been saying that to me since I was a kid. They're like, man, I like the guy, but he's a jerk. Like, you get a lot of, especially in college, I would get in a lot of fights and, I don't really like him, but if something goes down, I want him on my side. Right. So I think a lot of that stuff, I can be a good father and do cool stuff and still be an a-hole. Like,
right.
I tell people a lot of times when I do interviews, they're like, man, we saw everybody booing you, but you seem like a nice guy. I go, yeah, but if you put some money on the table and say you and I are going to fight over that money, you're going down. And they're like, right. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Like, there's something there. And but social media is a double-edged sword. I think it's great because it does make you relatable, but it also helps people. Like, there are people that I know, like Alexa Bliss's story comes out about the issues she's had or whatever, and people see that and they go, man, I'm going through the same things.
Right.
She made it successful. So it gives these people this opportunity to see someone who's made it, who maybe is going through the same thing they've gone through. Vice versa with, like, my NFL stuff. If an NFL guy's bummed out, he's like, man, I didn't make it in the NFL. I don't have an option. But this dude, he played football and he didn't make it, and look what he's doing now. Maybe I can become an Olympic shot putter. Like, it gives people, I think, a lot of hope. But then it's the double-edged swords that it does let people into your life a little too much sometimes. I think it's hard to find that balance of what to let people in. Like I said, I want to grow my brand and let people get interested in some things I'm into, because it also might help somebody find a band. It was so funny. I was talking about Ice Nine Kills. Like, they're a horror band, a horror-themed rock band. And I was posting something, and those dudes reached out. They're like, dude, we're huge wrestling fans. We didn't know you were a fan. Like, and then now some of their fans are following me. And, like, it's a cool thing to help kind of build that you wouldn't have that before.
Yeah. Is it wild to you thinking now? I would imagine that, like, when you get to the NFL, right? In your head, you're going, this is what I've been working for my whole life. Like, this is what my legacy is going to be. I'm going to die. I'll have my family, and the public will know me as a football player. And that doesn't work out. To be where you are now, where it's like you do have that thing, arguably more than you could have ever had it in the NFL, not because of your skill level, but because, I mean, Baron Corbin is one of these, you know how WWE works. Characters that resonate last forever.
Yes.
Like Baron Corbin, regardless of what you do going forward even, Baron Corbin's going to last forever. And you now have this, like, you didn't even realize this chapter in your life was coming. And it actually is, it's your legacy.
It is, 100%. I think, football was awesome. I played football. I was really good at it, and I got an opportunity. I came from a small school, made it to the NFL. And it was kind of the thing where I was playing at that point more so that because I was good enough to play, not because my passion and love was there. And when it was done, I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on. And, it was so funny because NXT, I was like, I've never watched wrestling. What's wrestling? I didn't know any about this. But I grew up in Kansas City. We had Memorial Hall where Harley Race came through. Like, we had awesome wrestling history. So I was like, man, maybe this is my chance to give this a shot. And it really, I think, sparked something in me because it's a challenge. Like, in football, you're a team and you're trying to win games and it's the Super Bowl and or college national championships, but other people can cost you your successes and whatnot. It's a weird, different kind of thing. And then when you come to WWE, it's all about you. Sometimes you guys have tag partners and that helps make you successful. But I think for me, I love it so much here because every day is challenging. Every day is different. There's all kinds of changes that happen, whether it's 1 minute before, 2 weeks before, a year from before. Like, things are always changing, and then there's new goals. Like, when I was the Lone Wolf, I wanted to be world champion, and I didn't get there as that, and I evolved to the constable, and I'm going, okay, this is a new challenge. Then it was acting general manager. This is another new challenge. Like, then when that ended, it was like, okay, now I'm facing Seth for the Universal Championship. Another new challenge. Now this King of the Ring tournament is back, and I'm a part of that. Like, it's this constant excitement for all of the new challenges, as well as disappointments. Like, the Money in the Bank didn't work out. So how do I get to the next level after that?
It's also really interesting that you put it that way because, I mean, you hear a lot of people complaining, one of the WWE kind of complaints is that, well, no matter what I did, it wasn't going to work out for me, and I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
but coming from team sports,
that's a sad story of a lot of people nowadays. If something doesn't work, it's because of somebody else, or nobody wanted them to do it. It's just one of those things. Like, man, if you want to get something and you really go, and people are going to appreciate it. It may take longer than expected. Like, I'd hope to be a world champion by now, but it's taken me 3.5 years, and it'll come. It's just that grind. But a lot of people after 6 months are going to go, well, it's not going to work out for me because I'm not champion yet. Like, it's a grind. Anything worth it is truly a grind. So, it's like that's that kind of thing where you have to not feel sorry for yourself and just keep pushing.
So, like, how do you push past? So let's say, you brought up the Money in the Bank. Obviously, when you win the Money in the Bank, in your head, you got to be going, okay, this means that I'm on the road that I want to be on. I am going to get that
100%.
championship.
100%.
And then when it's like, actually, we're going to squash it right away from you.
Hey, Jinder's going to beat you tonight. Huh? Like, huh? Like, it's one of those things.
And then you have to, but I mean, based on your philosophy, you have to be strong enough to be like, okay, I'm just, like, the disappointment's obviously going to just come over you.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to push past it.
And it's not just the disappointment, too, because then you got to think about the snowball effect of the disappointment, because now all these people that have been rubbing it in their face that, I got Money in the Bank, I'm a world champion, the internet, ha, ha, ha. Now not only am I disappointed in myself because I didn't make it, but now I have a bunch of other people telling me, and you'd have audiences chanting, "Where's your briefcase?" Like, that stings, man.
Right.
Like, I should be holding the championship right now. So it is one of those things, like, you have
Where's
to
your
be
briefcase?
good.
Is a genius chant, by the way. It really is.
I still get it every once in a while. Like, one time it was funny. I was hitting Braun with a chair, and a guy in the car goes, "Hey, where's your briefcase?" I go, "I don't know. Ask Braun where his is." And I hit him again. Like, it's so funny because I get ridiculed, but, like, they just instantly forget that he didn't win his either.
Right.
But it's one of those things. I think growing up since I was a kid, you have to learn not to live in that past. You kind of always are, what's next, what's next, what's next? Because even in, like, football or jiu-jitsu or boxing, anything I was doing, even I played for my high school golf team, man. Like, sports, like, you hit a bad shot, you can't dwell on that. You got to go to the next thing. Or if you have a bad play and you give up a sack or a holding call, if you let that bother you, it's just going to snowball. Your game's going to, it's gone, done. You're over. So I think I learned very young to always kind of one thing at a time and go, like not to worry about what just happened. And I think that's what makes me successful, like in a sense of not listening to people on the internet. Like they don't affect me. At the end of the day, I'm not losing sleep over these people. You know, I'm living a good life. And so it just, I learned not to let that, or if somebody else gets an opportunity over me, I'm not going to go, oh, man, that guy, it's because this guy likes him more than me.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are you the type of person that when something like that happens, do you get paranoid, like, oh, maybe this person that liked me before doesn't like me anymore, or maybe the company's lost faith in me, or maybe this is really it for me?
Yeah, I think it crosses everybody's mind, and I think that's a good thing because I think it means you care about what you're doing, but you just can't dwell on it. You can't blame somebody else for that. Like if someone else gets an opportunity you want, I mean, good for them. However they got it, they got it. But whether I cry because they got it because they didn't deserve it or because they earned it, it doesn't affect me. I have to figure out my next route to get to where I want to go.
When people talk about the NXT call-ups, you know, there is this kind of like nervousness, right? When they're like, so-and-so's coming up from NXT, and they go, oh, I like him in NXT. I don't want them to misuse him. I don't want them to, they're going to come out and they're going to get jobbed out. Or they're going to, you know, they'll use whatever terms.
100%.
And then do you want to be like, guys, I feel like all the people that came from NXT that were successful don't get talked about because people forget that they came from NXT because it's almost like people don't remember that you were an NXT guy because you've made such an impact on the main roster. Like, I honestly think that there are a lot of people who don't remember Ricochet was in NXT.
100%.
Aleister Black was in NXT.
Shinsuke.
You know? Shinsuke.
It's
Kevin
crazy.
Owens.
Yeah. And all these guys, what's crazy is I think, you know, when people say that, I don't want them to come up and get misused. Nobody's going to get misused. They're going to be given opportunities, and they're either going to make them successful or they're not. It's just the way it is. And there's a reason that NXT and Triple H has built such an amazing thing down there because he gets guys ready to come up here. Now, you know, NXT went from development assistant. When I went in, it was FCW, and it was nothing. And Hunter got his hands on it and really built something truly special out of it. And he's taken these guys from developmental to a third brand, which I think is spectacular because we did it. You know, I was part of that movement. You know, when I was wrestling Samoa Joe in front of 16,000 people in Brooklyn, like that was the biggest show NXT had ever had at that point. But he's getting guys ready to come up here, and sometimes people get called up. They may not be absolutely ready or whatever it is, or the situation didn't fit like they thought it would, and it's just going to take time to kind of rebuild or figure it out. And that's on the guys that get called up. When they get called up, it's on them to find success. And Cena's always been a guy who preached that, like, it's on you, it's not on anybody else. So if guys are being misused, if you will, like it's not anybody's fault but their own. They need to figure out a way to find an avenue to get successful, get creative, pitch ideas. And it's hard because you do get lost in the shuffle up here, and there's a lot of guys who I think could do great things given the opportunity, and it's just a matter of fighting and finding that opportunity.
How was it for you? You come up to the main roster from NXT, and the first match is not only WrestleMania, Battle Royal, you win the thing.
Right.
So, number one, how are you prepared, as much as NXT prepares you, how are you prepared to walk into a wrestling stadium? I know obviously you've done stadiums before, you know, but to walk into a wrestling stadium, as you said, by yourself and go like, here I am. How are you prepared for that? And then how does it feel getting acclimated into the main roster when people are like, who is this guy? He just showed up and won the Andre Trophy.
Yeah, so I think a couple things helped me. I think number one is being in stadiums and being in front of large crowds and being under that pressure, and when your job depends on it. When you're in the NFL, your job depends on your play.
Right.
Like, if you're not playing good enough, you go home. You no longer have a paycheck. And I think that helps me get ready. So, you know, it teaches me how to deal with the pressure of those things. And I also look at it, where do I want to go, not where am I at? Like, I train and I try to develop myself to where I want to be so that I'm ready when I get there. And I think that helped me a lot when I come to the main roster. Well, this is what I've been training for, so I'm ready. Like, the nervousness was there in a good way, not in a bad way. And I think, you know, debuting like that, I think I fit the WWE roster mold much better than the NXT mold. It's a different style. It's it's cool because it's the underground, not so much underground anymore, but it was when I was there. It was the underground, cool, heavy metal band that was car crashes and wildness. And, I was so different than everybody else. Like, I was a big dude. I was a little more old school in the aspect of I'm not doing moonsaults. And I can do them. I can flip. Dude, I dove for 10 years. I could throw a moonsault off the top rope if I need to, but I don't.
I feel like your character was a main roster character, and that's what made you the biggest bad guy
Yes,
in
100%.
the promotion. I mean, I remember one of the NXT shows I went to, they played your package. It was probably the Brooklyn show when they played the package, and like in the arena, they played you doing they made a phone call.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do.
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
right as
That was the Brooklyn.
Finn Balor and Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe and all these guys that people loved because they had done this all their lives and they were never supposed to get an opportunity, and finally they got one. And then here comes you. I've never seen this guy in wrestling before.
Right.
He's acting above
Instant
it,
hate.
and it's all true.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like that.
And that was the fun part of it, was because I did make a phone call to get here. Like, my agent called, and he knew somebody in the music department, so he called them, and they're like, wait, you want to become yeah, all right, we'll fly you out next week. Like, that was literally my road. And these dudes did have a hard road, man. They did 10 years in Japan or did independence, and I always would tease the line that they worked for a hot dog and chips. But it's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's what resonates with those fans is they're like, man, he's right. What a jerk. Like, he didn't pay any of his, you know how many times I heard you didn't pay your dues and you didn't do this, and I'm going, you're right, I didn't have to. Like, that made it so easy for me. So it was a very main roster-esque persona, but that's who I was.
Right.
And, we go back to social media a little bit. The fun thing about social media as well that people don't realize, these guys will tweet you and tell you, you're the worst because of this. And you go, oh, he didn't like that. I'm going to do it again. And they go, oh, your vest looks stupid. I wanted to go, I'm going to wear 2 of them. Like, take it off and go, I got another one on. Like, it's so funny because they don't realize they're telling you what to do. And that's the same thing, too, with what I do now. They go, oh, Baron Corbin is boring. He doesn't do a bunch of moves, so I'm not going to do a bunch of moves.
No.
I'm going to kick, punch, do a couple things, hit my signature
Get those
stuff.
chin locks on.
Yeah, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's fun is that because I know it irritates them.
Yeah.
If I go out there and I do some awesome stuff, I'm going to be cool. Like,
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. But they want to go, he can't wrestle. Oh, no, I can't. I got to do this. Like,
when you're gonna hit the end of days on Becky Lynch, and I mean, how impactful that's going to be. It's like of all the dirty, dastardly, and plus it never happens, right? We don't see that. Are you thinking about that spot the whole match, going like, I can't wait to hear?
Yes, because I was curious to the reaction. I was curious to and it was one of the craziest reactions I've ever heard because they heard me, like when you stand behind her and I'm getting up behind her and you hear them going, and then when I snatch her, they're going, nah. And then when I do it, it's like almost dead quiet for a second. They're like, hey dude, did he just hit her with the end of days? And they're like, yeah. And they pop. They're like, yeah, wait, no, boo! Like, it was the most confused, amazing reaction of just pure natural excitement and hatred. Like, and I even had to give some stuff to our social media team because I received death threats after that. Like, it was insane. Like, people went way overboard. Like, I thought I got some good stuff before, and they're like, I'm coming to Raw to stab you. And I'm going, hey man, you should probably
scan
for this guy. So it was crazy, but yeah, and then I was doing it too. It's so funny because I can't remember. I said something to Rollins right after. I called him a piece of shit or something. I don't know what it was. But I was so excited when I did that, and the reaction was so unreal and so loud that I turned around. I was like, I'm mad. And so I just yelled at Rollins, like whatever I was feeling, and it came out. And it was so funny, like because it was totally natural, but I had to totally click back into the zone.
Yeah.
And it was a very surreal moment that I will remember forever.
That's amazing. And then, so after that, how do you do not being on TV for a month or so? Like, is it, okay, like, I know what this is. I'm going to let this be a refresher. I'm going to rest a little bit. I mean, I know you're still doing live events, but I'm going to rest. I'm going to allow the audience to rest. Or does that thing click in the back of your head?
So me being who I am, I'm going, I want to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because, like, last year I wrestled the second most matches in the entire company. This year, right now, I'm number 1 most matches in the company. I go. I work every single live event.
You want that record.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's pride. It's a sense of pride. I work for every dollar I get. I want to scratch and claw to be the hardest working guy around here, especially because people don't see that. So I appreciate it. Like, all those people are like, oh, you can't do this, he sucks or whatever. They don't realize I'm wrestling more matches than anybody. I'm running 30 minutes against Rollins every night in every town we go to, whether there's 2,000 people there or 50,000 people. We are going full bore. And I take a lot of pride in that work ethic that I have. And I don't remember where I was taking that thought process, but it's just something that I'm proud of, is being that way. So then when I come to a month off, like I'm getting antsy. It's like I've had too much caffeine. I'm sitting there going, well, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, especially because I was pulling 8 segs when I was acting general manager. You see me 8 times a night. So I think it was a good thing to kind of back up there for a month. My program had ended with Rollins, and with that, I think it was good for a break for me a little bit mentally and my body a little bit. Even though I'm still doing live events, like the TV days can be long when you're there at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and you're there all day and you're moving and getting ready for segments, and the anxiety and the stress of a TV day is a lot. So it was good for my mind and my body to kind of back up. And I think it was good for the audience to get a little bit of a break too. It was so funny because I would see a lot of comments that are like, that was the best Raw ever because there was no Baron Corbin. But then after 3 weeks, they're like, the same person's like, wait, where's Baron Corbin? Like, get him on the show. Like, so it was good because it's kind of good to be missed a little bit. I think that's the cool thing about King of the Ring is like, it was missed for a little while. So now it feels a little more special. So
Yeah, people got excited
and
as soon as they announced
the
it.
day I came back, it was like I was never gone. They still hated every bit of me.
Which is all you can ask for.
But yeah, I mean, I sit back there and I'm antsy and I'm going, hey, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? He goes, hey, just relax. Like, we're doing it.
How does your family feel about the bad guy stuff? How does your family feel about the hate that you get in response to it, the stuff that you say on TV that deserves the hate that you get in response to it?
So it all depends who I'm doing it with. So, because like my mom loves Dolph Ziggler. When me and him were wrestling, why would you do that to Dolph? Like, that was mean. Or you look like a giant baby out there throwing a tantrum. She goes, are you 10? Like, so my mom's funny. But then like I'm like, always tell her, because my mom like follows my Instagram or whatever. It's a proud mother. And she reads the comments. I'm like, Mom, stop reading the comments. Or she'll see something on the internet. I heard this. Mom, get off the internet. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They have no clue. Yeah. Don't listen to them. Like, my mom's going, they had to cancel live events because Becky and Seth were on vacation. Mom, stop reading the internet. Like, that's what, like, is so funny because my mom gets like caught up in it. Or why would they say that about you? Like, she can't comprehend why people are so mean. And it's just funny because I always want to, like, when you get like a 12-year-old kid that says just something horrible, I want to be like, hey, I'm sending this to your dad. They'll be like, what? No! Like, it's so funny. But like, so my mom sees it. My wife just laughs.
She gets it. That's awesome.
Or she'll, like, we were sitting on the couch the other night, and I'm going, man, I want to get a better crown. That one didn't fit my head right. Like, if I win, like, I need a great crown. And she's like, yeah, you need one with all these diamonds. She goes, you know what you need? You need a goblet, like one of those cups with diamonds. She's like, that'll make people hate you because you'll always be carrying around this goblet drinking, and you need this like staff that's all like. And so my wife like feeds into it and loves it.
Right,
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, my dad called me today, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on with your Twitter account?" I'm like, "Dad, I don't know, but one cure would be like you're searching my at mentions. Yeah. You got to stop.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do it. If you see the quality of people that are writing that stuff, it's just,
do you believe the Baron Corbin controversy? They talked about it on Busted Open. Do you believe in go away heat?
No,
because that's what people would say.
It's nonsense. It's like that's what the people think because they don't want me. They're so confused. Like what go away heat is. Like these people are booing me because they hate me so much. Like go away, I hate you. Like I got you.
Right.
Like that's the culmination of all heat is you hate me so much. Like you truly hate me. You're not like, hey, I like you, boo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they truly hate me because of whatever I do to their favorite people or whatever I say. Or, I get a lot of people that will come on there and go, I bet you really are a jerk in real life. And like, I'm going, dude, I got you. Like, that's my job.
By the way, I hope you feel that way. It's good for business.
Yeah, it's not, go away heat is not real. Like, I walk out the curtain and they're going, oh, these boring. If I was, no one would be saying anything. No one would be making a sound. Instead, every single person in that building, from the 4-year-old kid in the front row to the 85-year-old woman who's giving me the finger, all hate me. There's no like, let's go Cena sucks. I don't get that. I get everybody hates me.
That is, yeah. I mean, go away heat. The sound of go away heat is silence.
Nothing. That's
it's
what
just
it is.
like, oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
why are you here?
I don't care if he's here or not.
Right. I'll show up later. He's
Yeah.
going on first. All right. I'll
Yeah.
come for the second match.
Yeah.
Did you see Midsummer?
Not yet. I hear
Oh,
it's
dude.
awesome though.
It's so-
supposed to be like. There's a movie called Martyrs, a French film.
Mm-hmm.
It's super horror. Like it's supposed to be on the level of that.
Hey, did you see the original Wicker Man from 1973?
Yeah.
So it's super.
Oh, it's gonna be.
If you like that,
yeah,
I just saw
slow
the,
burn.
Yeah, oh,
really
yeah.
twisted.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Yes.
just saw the director's cut. They just put the director's cut back in theaters.
Yeah.
Over the weekend of Midsummer, it's like 3 hours long.
So
but it's,
so having a, well, she'll be 5 months old tomorrow, baby at home. That really cuts into your going to theater time.
I know. So I was just having this conversation, and so here's what I do now is like because I got a 2.5-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Yeah. Okay.
So by 8:30, the house is quiet, and because my wife is there just busting ass,
Yeah.
she's asleep by 9.
Yeah.
So after 9 o'clock, I'm going to literally every movie in the last year that's come out I've seen by myself at 9 o'clock in a movie theater.
I actually like
alone.
going by myself.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because my wife, like, I always go, okay, do you want to see this one or not? And then she's like, yes. And so I have to wait on those. But I put like a theater in my house
Yes.
upstairs. So that's my like go-to spot now when the baby goes to sleep. We go upstairs. Like we watched, it's where the little kid has the superpowers. It's
It's
if
like
Superman could be evil, essentially.
Brightburn or something like that?
Yeah, we watched that the other night.
Was it good?
The ending fell flat for me, just a little bit. Like, it was still, I'd watch it. Like it's
Yeah.
a fun watch, a cool
I liked
idea.
the trailer, but I didn't.
The trailer was awesome. I like the lady that's in the movie, and I mean, I'll give every horror movie a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm not a super critic like a lot of people we've talked about today. Like, I don't care if there's 10 people in the movie theater or 500. I'm gonna go see it and have fun with it and
You're not
pick
gonna,
out
you're
the
not
things
gonna,
like.
You're not going to say, well, this movie sucks because it's not drawing.
Yeah. This guy said it wasn't good, and also there were 4 empty seats in the theater. I took a picture. Here, I'll put it on my Twitter.
By the way, I saw Hereditary, and if Toni Collette is supposed to be the star, she didn't get a pop at all.
Yeah. So no, I don't do that. But like, I want to see that Midsummer. It looks so good.
It's so good.
I met some guys that run a horror podcast in L.A. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but I'm gonna try to do that when we're out there. Like, it's fun to get in with those people because they'll throw you some movies you wouldn't necessarily find, like Martyrs. If you haven't seen Martyrs,
I'm definitely
dude,
going to see Martyrs.
there's points where you're like, oh, that's heavy. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting a YouTube thing of just like obscure movies that I
Yeah.
find myself watching that I
Really?
just want to turn other people onto.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I just
There's
watched
a lot of
Sleepaway
good-
Camp
I have
again.
not seen that
Dude,
one.
from 1983.
No,
It's
that's from before I was born, dude. I'm gonna watch it.
it's
I mean, I have
incredible.
my whole leg of horror tattoos, so
Oh my god.
I got Children of the Corn, the Flashing
Gremlins.
Gremlin, Zodiac, The Ring. What else I got over here?
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, Signs. How good was Signs, dude?
You
When I
have a
was
tattoo of
kid-
the movie Signs?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Dude, when I was a kid, that movie scared the life out of me. That and Fourth Kind. Candyman, another fantastic one.
Have you seen M. Night's grandma movie?
Yeah.
The
Oh, it's
Visit?
great.
Isn't it
so
amazing?
Good. So good. Terrifying.
I feel like M. Night.
I like movies too, like that. Like that could actually happen. Like,
Yes.
and like
It all
like
logically
Strangers.
made sense. Yeah.
Strangers,
Oh
like,
my
dude.
God.
I went to school like in the middle of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd pass by these houses that are just out in the field, and you're going, those people are goners. Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, dude.
Yeah, isn't that great? But like, yeah, in The Strangers, when it was like, why are they doing this? They're just doing it.
Yeah, because we can. Because you were home. I think
And
he
then
says
you're
because
like,
you were
that-
home. You're
Yeah,
like,
that could happen.
100%. That I like those, and I like paranormal, like Paranormal Activity, the original one. Fantastic.
Honestly,
like
I
paranormal
give them the
movies.
first 3.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree
And then
with
it started
that.
getting real wacky.
Yeah,
you know? It's like, okay.
yeah. But I like those because, like, I like the ghost stuff. We did the, Corbin's Haunted Adventures. We're doing some more of those on YouTube, hopefully.
That's awesome.
It's fun to go do that stuff.
Yeah. Well, next time we do this, we'll just talk about horror movies the whole time.
100%.
We've done all the wrestling talk. We
Yes.
did it all.
Yes.
So next time it'll just be from here on. It's just going to be horror movie interviews nonstop.
I'm just going to have to keep watching your YouTube for movies to watch.
Yeah.
That's what's great. My buddy, he does a horror podcast called Who Goes There, and every week he's sending me, hey, did you watch this? You watch this yet? Like, dude, I found like The Green Room. Did you watch The Green Room?
No,
Dude.
Is it great?
Dude, it's awesome.
Have you seen The Green Inferno, the Eli Roth movie?
I loved it.
I loved
All
it,
my
too.
friends hated it.
It's so
all my horror
uncomfortable.
friends hated it. Like, it's terrible. Like, even he was yelling at me to one show. He brought a sign and it said, Corbin loves Green Inferno. Like, that was his sign. And I was like, yes, I do. Because we were arguing over Dark Song. Have you seen Dark Song?
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. The last 2 minutes was awesome, but the movie itself, I was like, oh my God, come on, please get me something to grab onto.
I love movies where like you feel like you made one little dumb mistake and you've lost total control of your life, and that's the Green Inferno.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
why I just didn't get on the plane, and now there's no way you're not getting out of this.
Nope,
It's
there's no coming
impossible.
back from this.
Yeah. Well, then what do you think I should watch? The Green Room or like tonight? Green
Martyrs.
Room, Martyrs.
Well, it depends what you want to do. Like Green Room is like a kind of a thriller. Like it's got some crazy stuff, and then it's like an action thriller. But it's like, dude, this could really happen very easily. And then Martyrs is just, dude, it's a staple of horror movies for me.
All right,
but you got to watch the French version.
Subtitles.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you read good?
I can read. I mean,
I started watching this.
I can get most of the words
so
down.
funny. We had dinner. We had dinner at my wife's parents' house, where I grilled these monster steaks. I don't know, they're on my Instagram, dude.
I saw 'em.
Dude, they were 2.5 inch steak. And of course, another thing, the internet. I put them on the grill, dude. I can grill like a champ. I cook crazy level stuff.
You trained to be a wrestler. You're confident going into WrestleMania. You trained to grill. You're confident going into dinner.
100%.
You got
going into
this.
dinner. Everybody knows it's going to be legit.
Right.
So I've got the steaks on there, and I put olive oil on them to get that good crisp sear on them. And the fire's up, and I got to start. And there's like 10 comments. You're burning the steaks. Your fire's too hot. You need to clean your. Somebody literally said you need to clean your grill.
That's when you know you're.
That was a comment. I'm at my wife's parents' house, bro. Like, not my grill.
That's
Still.
when you know you're a heel.
Yeah, right.
When it's like
literally
it's like
everything.
everything. You can't do anything right.
So
Congratulations
it's so good.
on that.
Thank you.
Congrats, you did it.
Thank you, Plant.
I hope you've
been
enjoyed
great
the firm.
today.
I've
You've
tried
been
to give
great.
you a homey environment here. We're in Westchester. This
We
is
are.
my hometown, the best Chester.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic. There's a great Whole Foods down the road.
Absolutely.
I picked up some meals there today.
White Plains, or as the locals know it, White Stains.
White stains. You guys got stains?
Yeah.
I totally went on a cooking rampage and forgot. I was like, the reason we're at my parents, we had watched this Chinese subtitles movie, like the new karate one. It's on iTunes. Man, I can't remember what it's called now. It looks awesome. First 15 minutes, I fell asleep. I had too much wine.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. Subtitles and wine and sleepiness.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on everything, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you out here tonight at the Westchester County Center.
Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. Last time I
man.
remember this crowd was good.
Yeah, no, this is. I used to go to this building when I was a kid. This is one of those buildings.
It's got a lot of history.
It's got a ton of history, and it's one of those spots where the whole crowd is the people that you were talking about before, where it's not like.
They love it.
It's like, oh my God, these are the guys from TV, and they're here in Westchester, and they're in this place where, like, we came here for the train show.
Yeah.
And now the guys from TV are right here. I mean, there's a Braun Strowman Baron Corbin match tonight
With chairs, kendo sticks, tables.
at the county center.
Dude,
It's incredible. I love it.
If you come to a WWE show to have fun, you will have fun.
Amazing.
100%.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. And thank you, Fern.
It's good, Fern.
Yeah, great Fern.